everyone. Welcome to the Stock Market Morning Prep video for Monday, December 1st, first day of the month, last month of the year, and it's going to be an exciting one, that's for sure. We have a lot of things that are happening and some changes that are going on into the marketplace. If you haven't seen them, I'm going to point them out today and all this week. First of all, I hope everybody enjoyed their Thanksgiving. It was a nice little break off of the markets. It's always nice to refresh and energize yourself going into the last month of the year. So pretty exciting stuff. Friday, we had nothing going on. Dow was up 49 cents. NASDAQ up $4.31. S&P though was down $5.27. And the Russell down $17.39. So, well, what happened? Well, interesting on Friday. Friday usually we have Fridays come into following the Thursday, a very good usually an up day in the markets, and that's pretty much solidified. But obviously that did not happen. We had a mixed bag, and that actually happened right at the end of the day, just before the market closed. The last hour, market started to sell off, and that's not really such a great sign. And one of the reasons why is because of crude oil, WTI, in front of you. We had a massive liquidation in crude oil after OPEC's stated that they will not disrupt supply. They were going to leave everything as is and let the market figure itself out. Well, that just sent crude oil down 14%. And early this morning, we were down another $2.50. And now we're up 25 cents. So very interesting stuff. And I'm going to tell you why I think this is going to affect it. And everybody pretty much knows there's a lot of energy stocks that are in the S&P 500. There's a lot of countries that rely on their oil resources. And if they cannot make any money at $65 a barrel, you're going to have some ramifications throughout the world here. Now, it's only a day, and oil, I do believe, does bounce because we do have a capitulatory sell-off here on Friday. And also, don't forget, this is also on Sunday night going into Monday morning. We were actually down at $63.75 at one point, and now we've actually rallied back up to around I'd say about $66 here. So that's interesting. And also, if you look at the pattern, every time when you had crude oil sell off significantly or a decent sell-off, you had a pullback in the SPX. Same thing here. If you looked at this little sell-off here, we had a little bit of a pullback. We had a little sell-off here. We had a pullback. And this is all energy stocks. There's a lot of energy stocks weighted in the S&P 500. So, and there are going to be a bunch of companies that are just not going to be able to weather the storm here. And they're going to fall out of the waste here. They're going to be out of business. So there's a lot of concern here. Crude oil, believe it or not, going below 60. Also, there's a demand issue. You know, why is there so much? Supply out there, right? Are we consumers not really spending as everybody says they are? So there's something to look at. This is very, very important, even for the swing trader and especially the longer-term investor. You have to keep an eye on this crude oil because this could be a canary in a coal mine for weaker prices and equities. Now, where do we go from the short term here? So I like to say that we are extremely overbought, and I can show that to you in some of these other charts here. This is the NDX 50. We're at 89% of stocks above the 50-day moving average. Crazy, crazy, crazy. This is definitely a sell zone area here. So I would not be surprised if we come into some weakness this week. Now, seasonality, we come into strength, okay, the first week of December. We come into strength the first week of December into the second week of December, which is battling tax selling. So you're going to get a little bit of chop with some weakness and then, of course, some strength. However, we are up extreme levels here, which we have not gotten a sell-off, which I think that could dictate some profit taking along with some tax loss selling. So I wouldn't doubt if we get into some weakness here in the first week of December, maybe going into the second week and then rally. But remember, that could change. It's very difficult here. It's a little bit of a mixed bag because of what's going on with oil, tax selling issues, and then, of course, you have seasonal strength in the marketplace. And, of course, where we are at these lofty levels. Okay, let's take a look at stocks above the 50-day moving average. And again, 84% of stocks above the 50-day moving average. This is in the sell area. So you have to take note of that. I mean, less likely if you're day trading, but you have to take note of it. Now, McClellan Oscillator is basically at neutral. So that tells me there's plenty of room to run to the downside before it becomes oversold, meaning the markets, okay? So let's just keep that in mind, guys, that there are plenty of stocks that have done threefold to the upside, if you will, and stocks that really haven't done anything. And I think it's just a selective few of stocks that participate in this rally for the last 25 trading days. Okay, so let's keep an eye on stocks, but more so keep an eye on the indicators and, of course, crude oil. Let's start the week off with the S&P, the Spiders Weekly. Nice doji candlestick here, and we are at the upper end of that 2 standard deviation from the Bollinger Bands. We're extended. I mean, look at where we are at the 8, 201.03. Again, I'm looking for an 8 or 20 pullback to the EMA on the weekly. This is the weekly chart here, so it'll be the 8-week or the 20-week. And I think that's, that wouldn't be, even if we got 4 or 5 points out of that, I wouldn't mind. We need a little bit of a pullback, and then we could start looking to buy the market again. Do I think the market goes higher a little bit? Absolutely, at least into the end of the year, and then we would just totally reevaluate it. Here's the Spiders Daily. You can see there's absolutely no volume on this push higher. And when people say the markets are strong, I don't see that. What I see lack of sellers coming into the marketplace and stocks just running up here until the sellers become anxious and start to really sell the market. Then you'll see all of these gains in 3 or 4 days are wiped out, okay? And that's happened many times back here in the charts. Overbought, no volume, so recipe for a pullback, and of course crude oil moving like that too as well, okay? So keep an eye on these indexes. I mean, I would like to see 204, 205 in the S&P, and then look to buy the market going into the end of the year. 30-minute, you can see the Bollinger Bands. We have gone nowhere in 5 trading days, and that's really the realm here, right? We go nowhere. Here, as you can see, we had a 2-day move higher. We gapped up, made new highs, and then we gone nowhere again. So you can see this market is doing nothing but consolidating. You get a push up, and then we consolidate for 4 days. We have 2-day move up, consolidate for 5 days. We have a 2-day move up, consolidate for 5 days. So you can see the month of November was just terrible trading. No movement at all. But we are pinching in the Bollinger Bands, and we are seeing some energy building. So we could vacate the premises here, as I always say, and it doesn't tell you which way, but I wouldn't be surprised if we start to etch a little bit lower here. 204 is that 200 period on the 30-minute, and that coincides nicely with that daily chart. So I'd like to see that right in that area here. Here's the diamonds as well. Nice doji star, 2 standard deviations away. A little bit of better volume, but again, guys, we're way overboard here looking for a pullback. Transports gapped up extremely high because of crude oil, then sold off again. This could be a big reversal candle. If it doesn't take back at least 50% of this, then I could see lower prices here, which is healthy, okay? And then we got last two more. We have IWM. Couldn't get away from this double top area. Still resistance here at 118-ish. And now again, it is pulling back. So we get a harsh pullback in the IWM. And the crude oil and these stocks, they don't recover. Be careful, okay? And then lastly is